As well, residents in Port-au-Prince are fleeing for safety amid reports of continuous gang violence in Haiti. On Thursday, police said gang leader Enis Julme, also known as Tigreg, who escaped from prison during a mass jailbreak, was shot dead in clashes. His group was part of gang leader Jeremy Cherizia's alliances, also known as Barbecue. Jeremy has previously warned of civil war and genocide in Haiti if Prime Minister Ariel Henry does not step down. Where the chaos displaced locals are also taking temporary refuge in government buildings and schools in the capital. In the meantime, the U.S. is waiting no time to evacuate its citizens from Haiti amid the violence in that country. U.S. State Department spokesperson Varden Patel confirmed preparations were underway to fly out American citizens from the capital to Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic.
Of March 20th, the U.S. government is facilitating the safe departure of U.S. citizens from Port-au-Prince, Haiti. We are in the process of organizing government-chartered helicopter flights from Port-au-Prince to Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, where U.S. government personnel are present to provide consular assistance, and from Santo Domingo, American citizens will be responsible for their own onward travel to the United States. Well, certainly every day counts, and our hope is that conversations are continuing with the membership of the Transitional Presidential Council. We understand that Haitian stakeholders are very closely finalizing membership and remain in active discussions with CARICOM, and we think that this needs to happen swiftly because it is clear to us that this Haitian-led process is key for paving the way for free and fair elections, as well as the deployment of the multinational security support mission as well.
And more humanitarian updates from Haiti. The United Nations says the situation in that country is extremely alarming. As it stands, over 40,000 people have been displaced and 5.5 million in need of urgent humanitarian assistance.
The situation here in Haiti and Port-au-Prince in particular has really gone from very worrying to extremely alarming. I must say the local police, the national police, have been extremely heroic and really been able to put up quite some resistance. But of course, they struggle to be present everywhere, particularly as the gangs, as they've done over the past few days, they advance into new areas of the capital. We now have a situation of actually 5.5 million of the 11.4 population is in need of some type of humanitarian assistance, and that is, as you can imagine, is a significant number. And out of those 5.5, 3 million are children. Since early year, we've had 48,000 newly displaced people, and as I said, many of these are families. They've had to flee multiple times, and as I say, the level of trauma, fatigue, and also suffering among these families is really, it's extremely alarming, and it's very, very painful.
A group of Indonesian rescuers have saved 69 Rohingya refugees from a capsized boat off the coast of Indonesia's West Aceh. The victims were sunburned, dehydrated, and floating on a rusty hull when they were discovered on Thursday. They were pulled aboard and transported to a nearby ship, with some, including a young child, later taken on stretchers to ambulances. According to Indonesia's search and rescue agency, 9 children, 18 women, and 42 men were saved. Approximately 80 others are believed to have been swept away and are feared dead. Thousands of Rohingya brave the dangerous sea journey to Malaysia or Indonesia every year. And we stay with Indonesia, as thousands were forced to flee their homes in the central island of Java after heavy rains caused severe floodings in the area. The floods left at least 5 people dead and nearly 23,000 residents displaced. Rescue efforts and evacuation have were conducted by Indonesian National Disaster Management Team. Locals waded through the knee-high floods as houses and surroundings were submerged by water. Residents in the area had to abandon their homes to safer places, taking shelters in crafted tents made out of sticks and canvas. Authorities in that country say that 89 villages spread across 11 sub-districts experienced flooding ranging from 30 to more than 80 centimeters deep. And the UN Development Programme and World Meteorological Organization and VMO has launched its joint global action campaign called Weather Kits. Now, this is also in collaboration with UNICEF leading up to World Meteorology Day. Broadcasters and online platforms across the globe will air a different type of weather forecast presented by children and showing a projected forecast for 2050 if we do not take climate action. The campaign directs to the www Weather Kits or G website and asks people to take a pledge for climate action in the name of a child and learn more about the many ways we can act today for future generations.
I'm Kaylee with the very special weather report. From up there to down here, everything is crazy. If we don't listen to scientists, things are going to be even crazier when I grow up. Let's look at the forecast for 2050. Heat waves will affect 94% of children, making playing outside a thing of the past.
Without accelerated climate action, children born in the year 2020 could experience up to 7 times more extreme weather events, like scorching heat waves, during their lifetimes compared to their grandparents. This new Weather Kits campaign is part of our response to listen to and act upon the growing concerns of young people across the world for their rights and their futures.
If you're a kid today, you're 10 years old, by the time you get to 2050, you're in your mid-30s. And the way the climate has changed will affect the food you eat, the jobs you have, will affect your ability to travel around the world. It will affect everything. And so it's really important that adults today are keeping that in mind.
Members of the United Nations have agreed to be in control of artificial intelligence AI to unlock more progress and make sure no one is left behind. This resolution was adopted by all 193 members of the UN with the aim to articulate a shared approach to AI systems. It is seen as a stepping stone with great potential to shape the world for the better, and the resolution calls on member states to promote safe and trustworthy AI systems to address the world's greatest challenges.
Today, all 193 members of the United Nations General Assembly have spoken in one voice and together chosen to govern artificial intelligence rather than let it govern us. The groundbreaking resolution adopted today cements global consensus for safe, secure, trustworthy AI systems that both advance sustainable development and respect fundamental freedoms. A first-of-its-kind resolution adopted not only by majority, but by consensus. Because ultimately, the risk and benefits of AI have the potential to impact all of us. And so approaching it requires all of us. The resolution we just adopted reflected our shared responsibility and collective fate. It leaves no one behind. It lays the groundwork for AI systems that leave no one behind either. AI will be able to bring to people in remote villages access to technology, but access to the basic needs that they didn't have access to before. And the whole idea of this is to bridge that gap. Why the UN? Why should this body, with so many existential challenges on its plate, take on AI? And the answer is simple. AI is existential. And not only in its threats, of which there are many, but in its opportunities, of which I believe there are many more.
And back here on the continent, at least 23 soldiers have been killed by Islamist militants in Niger. The Defense Ministry says 17 others were injured during an attack in the northwest of the country. And more than 100 armed men on motorbikes used improvised explosive devices and suicide bombs to ambush the military unit as it was making its way back from an operation in the region. The ministry says 30 of the attackers were also killed. Following last year's coup in Niger, the country's military rulers severed ties with its Western allies. French forces, who had been leading an international fight against the jihadists, were forced to leave. Last weekend, the authorities said they were cancelling an agreement allowing U.S. troops to be based in the country. And after much delay and uncertainty, Senegal is set for its presidential poll this Sunday, March 24. It is a crowded field of over 15 in the battle for the top job seeking to succeed President Macky Sall. And two men recently freed opposition leaders, Bassirou Diomaye Faye and the ruling party's candidate Amadou Ba, are the top candidates likely to win over voters in Sunday's presidential polls. There's also a woman in the running, Anta Babakar, Senegal's only female presidential candidate. Some 7.3 million Senegalese are registered to vote in this year's presidential elections that is touted as the most unpredictable, and observers expect a runoff between leading candidates. And a Rwandan-born man has been arrested in Ohio on charges of hiding his involvement in the 1994 Rwanda genocide. Federal prosecutors are accusing Eric Nshimiye of crimes including personally hacking people to death. According to prosecutors, Mr. Nshimiye gained refugee status fraudulently in the U.S. and has lived in Ohio since 1995. He faces charges of falsifying, concealing, and covering up a material fact, obstruction of justice, and perjury, and is billed to appear in federal court in Boston at a later date. And finally on the program, the 2024 High Ramadan Festival has kicked off at Expo City Dubai, welcoming visitors from all over the Muslim world. The festival, which is taking place during the holy month of Ramadan, features cultural and heritage performances. Participants also have the opportunity to display their products at the traditional handicraft market.
So I came to High Ramadan, because I wanted my son to have a very nice Ramadan experience. Well, what can I say? I'm having a very nice experience as well. There's good food, very interesting stalls, and amazing atmosphere.
And what a beautiful place to behold. And the 2024 Kai Ramadan does it for us here on The World Today. On behalf of the production team and everyone here, thank you indeed for watching. I'm Kelly Egiga. Bye now.